Hey, you guys. So I'm back again with another message from the Lord. This particular message I set on a couple of days ago. Set on for a few days. I received it a couple of days ago. Because I clearly heard in the spirit, off the market. Okay, while I was making up my bed, I clearly heard in the spirit, off the market. And the reason why I heard off the market in the spirit, because I was praying and asking God while I was making up my bed, because that previous night, God had allowed me to see in the spirit how different spirits were being sent out, as far as love spells, as far as separation spells, as far as spiritual spouses, to keep the kingdom spouses from coming together. And I'm like, okay, God, like during this time in this hour, they're working overtime. And God was just like, yeah, because a lot of my children, they are off the market. They are off the market spiritually. Whenever God does a thing, he does it in the spiritual realm first, and then it manifests in the natural. It manifests in the physical, manifests in our world, the realm of man. And so with that being said, a lot of God's children have already been married in the spiritual realm. And so it's time for them to come together in the actual physical realm. And so people know that. And so what the enemy is trying to do is he's trying to do love spells. He's trying to do separation spells. He's trying to put different people together that are not supposed to be together. And in the spirit, sending out spiritual spouses, all because a lot of God's children are off the market. And if you are experiencing this and God has told you that this is your season of marriage, that this is your season that you're going to enter into your marriage promise, this is why you're starting to have all these different dreams and visions of these different things happening, is because you are spiritually off the market. God had not spiritually married you to your spouse. And now the enemy knows that. So people don't went to unholy places to try to stop you and your spouse from coming together. But we denounce it, we rebuke it, we call it counsel. All right. And we send it back to the pits of hell in which you came, because that's nothing but the enemy trying to block your destiny. That's nothing but the enemy trying to keep you stagnant, because a lot of God's children, y'all remember I told you guys about the story that God had me reading in the Bible. I think it's about Aquila and Priscilla, and they were spouses. And excuse me if I'm butchering their names, because some names I can't pronounce, Hebrew Greek names. And so they were husband and wife, and God sent them out together to minister, and that was in the book of Jeremiah. And so, with that being said, God is sending out his children two by two. God is he wants to bring his children together, because the marriage is not about just you. Marriage is about the kingdom. And a lot of these different marriages that God is trying to bring together is going to be the upbuilding for God's kingdom. I talked about this before. And so with that being said, that's why you're feeling the spiritual warfare. That's why you're feeling the spiritual attacks. That's why you're starting to know, especially if you are a woman around a certain time around a certain times, you are starting to pick up and realize, hey, this always happened to me around this certain time. It's because they are trying to be strategic, and they have unsent monitoring spirits, and what they're trying to do is stop you from your kingdom spouse from coming in. Okay. And like I said, it's not going to work. If you need to go on an Esther fast, go on an Esther fast. If you need to go on a fast, pray. Do that. Be very, very mindful. Be very mindful. Thank you, Holy Spirit, of counterfeits during this season, during this hour, because I saw them sending out a lot of counterfeits in the spirits to different people, or people, when they know that it's not their spouses, but they want to keep them entertained with the counterfeit, so they won't be able to come into contact with their actual spouse that God has for them. And y'all, in this world, we have a lot of people that are together that are not supposed to be together. We have a lot of people that have children with people that are really not supposed to have children with people. And that's why we have, I would say, demonic children or bad bloodlines and things of that nature, because people are with people that they were not supposed to be with. And if y'all think I'm lying, go back and read the Bible, where I think it was in the book of Numbers. Was it in the book of Numbers? Or the book of Exodus, where Moses was telling the different Israelites how certain people were forbidden, how they couldn't lay and be married and have children with certain people because they were forbidden. And so when they were disobedient, God would deal with them. Y'all, that's still a thing. We still serve that same type of God. That God ain't changed. And so some people, when you are a chosen one and you are a chosen child of God, you can't be with any and everybody. Yes, God give us free will, but then sometimes when we go on our own free will, we cause things to come up on ourselves. And so the enemy knows this. And so if the enemy can get you keep you distracted with the counterfeit, if the enemy can keep you distracted with somebody you're not supposed to be with, you're not going to fully walk into your purpose. You're not going to fully fulfill your assignment because you're not where you're supposed to be at. And the enemy knows that. And so God is saying that some of his children, whoever this message is for, take this message back to God and confirm you are off the market. So that's why you are encountering different types of things in the spiritual realm. You're fighting and you're warring in your sleep in the spiritual realm. It's because you are off the market. If God hadn't revealed to you who your spouse was, or you kind of know that you are the one that's off the market, start to pray. Pray for your spouse. Cover your spouse in prayer. Because if you are feeling this, your spouse is feeling it too. They don't just work on one person. They work on both persons at the same time. So you're going to have to intercede, and you're going to have to pray for your spouse if your spouse is not aware. And because the enemy is busy. We have entered into the season. Thank you, Holy God, Holy Spirit. We have entered in the season of marriage season. And the reason why I know we have entered in the season of marriage season, because I asked God, I said, God, I said, now, if this is marriage season for some of your children, show me a peacock. Yeah, I was watching a movie. Sorry, y'all. I was watching a movie, and it was based upon Christian principles or whatever. And in that movie, I seen that it was a whole peacock in that movie, and they highlighted that peacock. I said, okay, God. So it is for some of your children. So for some of God's children, it is marriage season. And so with that being said, you guys know that you are off the market. Don't be around here entertaining people that you're not supposed to be around here entertaining. Don't be around here being around the wrong people that you're not supposed to be around, because the enemy is trying to steal, kill, and destroy. The enemy is trying to block marriages from coming together. And we bind it, we rebuke it, and we denounce it, and we call it cancel. And just know that you're off the market. And even though you might not be with your spouse right now, still move like you're off the market. Everybody don't need to have access to you, because I'm trying to tell you right now, the devil is trying to be very strategic, and sometimes the devil don't come off as bad at first until you get in something, and then it's too late. The devil comes as a wolf in sheep clothing. So we have to be mindful of that too as well. So I love you guys. Just know that whoever this message is for, you are off the market. Like I said, if you need to fast, to go on a fast. If you need to, go on a fast. If you need to, just consecrate yourself, read your word, do it. But a lot of God's children, God said off the market. Okay, off the market. So I love you guys once again. I pray that you all have an amazing day, and I will chat with you all later.